How's it going, guys? This is Jace, and you see I've changed my layout a little bit. I know some people have mentioned that I should probably change it, update it a little bit. So let me know how you guys think about this. Hopefully everything's still readable. I try to make the image in the background as like low, as like not as bright as possible. I forgot the word for it, but let me know what you guys think. But today, let's talk about some meta. Right off the bat, I will admit that the thumbnail is a little bit clickbaity. I'm not gonna make a tier list. I may not even mention what who I think my favorite character is, or I think is the best character in the game. But I'm gonna go through all the characters and we're gonna talk about them one by one and how they have progressed over time. Even when the game wasn't out, I will discuss how I think about them. But disclaimer here: I am not the all-seeing eye. I do not know what Idaho thinks. I do not know what Singapore I don't know what a lot of places think about the game and what their meta is. I can only speak for what I have seen. You know, tri-state area, some of Japan because I've been paying attention to Japan. But I think most of the opinions I have are at least accurate in what people think about the characters. So here we go. Start off with Gran and Catalina. So obviously Gran is the character I've been playing. And I think Gran's very good, of course. He's pretty interesting. He like kind of has a little bit of everything, right? But he has some things that don't make sense. He has things that other characters just can't do at all. So he is very good for a main character. He's probably one of the better main characters I've seen in a fighting game so far. Of course, I never played every fighting game in the world, but at least the games I've played, he's very good for a main character. Same goes for Catalina. Catalina is also pretty interesting. She seems more like a main character staple than Gran. Like Gran has things that don't make sense, like I mentioned, but Catalina has things that, you know, she's just really, really solid. And that's what you want in this game, right? There's not going to be, you know, crazy mix-up game, anything like that. Of course, characters have mix-up, but a character like Cat, who is just so solid, has all the tools you need to win, is very good in this game. So, you know, both Gran and Cat are very, very strong, in my opinion. Gran having the better matchup spread, I think he wins more matchups than Cat. Cat definitely struggles in certain matchups, while Gran kind of like overall, he doesn't really like lose to anybody just completely. Throughout the entire cast, he either you know goes even, he loses some of them slightly, or he beats them. While I think Cat has a couple losing matchups, but yeah, they're both really, really strong. I can't really say much about them. All right, next let's talk about. Well, I can't move the CPU, but let's talk about Fairy. Fairy being another one that's very strong, of course. Sorry, my nose is a little stuffy this morning, but yeah, Fairy is very good. Probably the best zoner, in my opinion. She has set play, and the way she goes about her zoning is very good. She doesn't really have to do too much to set up her offense, and most of the time you really don't even set up your offense because her neutral is so good. You really don't even want to take the risk because she does have the lowest health in the game, next to Matera. And pretty much throughout the entire life cycle of this game, people thought Fairy was good, and people know Fairy is a good character now, especially. So yeah, Fairy has been very dominant throughout the beta, any of the opening games, and up until the release of the game. She has been quite powerful. But I don't think she's overpowered or anything. I think she's very good. She definitely loses some matchups. She loses a couple, and some matchups are definitely a little difficult for her because she does have to, you know, be precise. She is a zoner with low health, even though she has DP. You know, she can get steamrolled if you're not competent with her. Let's talk about the other zoner, huh? Let's talk about Matera. Matera, again, I do think she's good. She's definitely, in my opinion, weaker than Fairy, but her game plan is definitely varied. Her offense is a little better than Fairy, I think. Just up close wise, like she has slightly better pressure than Fairy, even though Fairy has the better like offense. Like once she gets her offense going, I think Fairy's is slightly better than Matera, but they go about their zoning a little bit differently. I do think Matera, I think the downside of Matera is that you have to be a little bit more precise compared to Fairy. Again, same health pool. She does have the lowest health in the game. But, yeah, she goes about differently than Fairy, but I think the way she does go about it is a little bit weaker. So, it requires a little bit more accuracy, a little more precision. But I do think she's strong. You know, Hop is a very good tool. You can definitely play around the screen a little bit more. She has the best mobility in the game. Of course, she has Hop. She has a really good backdash. You know, same height, same super jump, regular jump. On top of her being able to hop back and forth. Her movement is very good. Even better than Fairy's, in my opinion. But yeah, I think she's good. You know, I think she might have fallen off a little bit. I think people thought she was very, very good next to Fairy in the beginning of the game, but she's fallen off a little bit, at least what I think she has. And what some people that I've talked to has her opinion, that she's fallen off somewhat, but she's still very good. Alright, next let's talk about Percival. Percival is one character I have very mixed feelings with. Because in the beginning of the game, I thought he was very good. But then I slowly thought he wasn't very good. And now I do think he's still good, but he has some weaknesses to him. You know, he has a DP, he has very good range. But the way he pressures you is like very, very, very limited. He has Command Dash, but Command Dash can always be beaten by, you know, DPs, good reactions, stuff like that. His only plus normals are really 5L and 2L. So, and they are good buttons, and they are hit confirmable. But they don't really stand up to the other characters that have good pressure. But he makes up for his neutral. And the problem with that is because of his Fireball being very slow in startup and recovery, he definitely loses in a lot of Fireball wars. Some of his matchups are kind of polarizing, I think. Matera being one of them. I think he does very, very bad against Matera. I think Cat beats him as well. Because he's just like, he has like a little bit... I don't want to say he's slow, because he isn't really slow. It's just, you know, he has to set up the stocks. You know, his Fireball game isn't the best. So when another character beats him in neutral, it's definitely tough for him to come back on a character. But when he gets started, he is still very strong. You know, he has command throw, he has the command moves off of the dash. So he's still a mixed bag with me, but I do think he has potential still. And I think some people are really utilizing him very well, like Dogra. I know Krishy's playing him as well. So we'll see where he goes. Maybe I'm completely wrong and he's really, really stupid by like a month or two, but we'll see what happens. Let's talk about Lancelot. Lancelot's the character I haven't really fought that much. He's interesting. I know there's some good players that are playing him. I don't know. It's hard for me to judge him. Some people think he's very, very good. Some people think he's not good at all. It's kind of weird. I don't really have much of an opinion on him yet. I haven't played against him that much, but I think he's kind of in the middle. I would say he has some stuff to really steamroll you, but he has some things that are going to be very difficult for him to win in certain matchups. But yeah, I don't really know too much about him. He's also a very mixed bag. I think he's more mixed bag for other people than he is for me. I think I would set him right in the middle of the good and bad. Well, Percival, I think most people think Percival's very, very good still. But Lancelot, yeah, I'm not sure yet. I think he's in the middle, but some people think he's really bad or really good. So we'll see what happens with him too. These two, the Dragon Knights, we don't know what's going to happen with them. We'll find out in the future, of course. Let's talk about La Diva, second row. La Diva, I think is very good. I think La Diva is still very good. You know, the better of the grapplers, in my opinion. She still has grappler issues, of course. But, you know, very fast movement for a grappler. Big boy health. She has the highest health in the game next to Vasaraga. So she can take some hits. She's another one I haven't played too much against. I've played her a little bit on my own. But, you know, she has the tools to win. I think she is lacking some stuff. Like, I know she is lacking some decent crouch hit confirms. You know, she doesn't really hit hard from very far away, but when she does hit hard, she hits very hard. Her anti-air combos, and when she gets her offense going, she hurts. You don't have too many chances to guess on her. So I do think she's really good, but you know, we gotta wait for the grappler players to really develop her. She's definitely on the higher end scale of my. If I had to make a tier list, I think she's definitely on the higher end of the tier list. All right, Charlotta. I know a lot of people really don't like this character, and I know in the very beginning, even before the game came out, people were saying she's really, really stupid. I think she is still very good. She's kind of like La Diva, in my opinion. She is good. I put her on the higher end of my imaginary tier list, but I think she has some issues. You know, her range is not that great. She only really has one tool to really solidify. It's a very good tool, right? EX Blankable, EX Roll. But if she wastes it, if she gets hit out of it, or they block it, you know, then she has to wait a very long time, and it gives other characters to put pressure on her. And then she kind of loses her momentum. She's very momentum based, of course. But yeah, her neutral isn't the best. And, you know, she has a gorilla, right? She has to gorilla you, but I think a big issue is she has to commit to jumping. Sometimes, right? And jumping in this game is very dangerous. A lot of characters have very, very, very high damage off of anti-airs. So, in a game where you do have to jump, where a character has to jump at you, it's pretty dangerous. Dangerous place to be. So, I think Charlotta's still good. She has good offense, but I want to say she's fallen off a little bit, at least in America. I don't know how Japan thinks of her. I think Japan still thinks very highly of Charlotta, but you know, she's gorilla, but she has some issues. She's not a broken gorilla, as people thought in the beginning. All right, Zaida. Zaida, I know in Japan people think Zaida is very weak. In America, I don't know how people think about Zaida right now, but in my opinion, I think she's okay. She definitely has some flaws. I think her biggest flaw is her damage. She doesn't really have anything to hurt you, especially mid-screen. She kind of just wants to, like, you know, use spear to take you across the screen so she can have some pressure. But and she does have laser, right? Laser is a very good tool, the best projectile in the game, still. But yeah, I don't know too much about Zaida. She has good normals. I think she's still solid, honestly. I think her biggest issue is the damage. She doesn't really get damage like other characters can in certain situations. Like, the way she gets damage is pretty specific, which is unfortunate for her. But, you know, I still think she's still pretty decent. We'll see. Maybe some Zaida monster will come out and show us how it's done. But I know Japan doesn't think very highly of her right now. In America, I think people think she's okay for now. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Vasaraga. I think Vasaraga is the only character that people unanimously think is not good. but I don't think Vasaraga is completely unplayable. I think he needs a couple changes to his game plan. If I were to change Vasaraga, I would definitely make it so he can combo off of EX shoulder, because something like that will allow him to get a lot of, you know, push the character to the other side of the screen pretty easily and get him some good offense. Because right now, like, once he hits you, especially mid-screen, there isn't much he can do afterwards because he's so slow, and you know his normals have a lot of startup. It's very hard for him to get anything started unless you're in the corner. And his combo structure is pretty whack, in my opinion. He really, you know, he gets the stance, EX stance into the, I think it's H, right? It's H or A, I don't remember, but you know, you do that move, you get 5B and you get super, like, it's so whack. And the character travels across the whole screen, so again, you lose offense. I think he needs to be able to have a move to keep his offense going. I think that's his only really big problem. Besides that, I think he's a decent character design. He isn't completely flawed, right? He doesn't have to change everything about him. But yeah, Valsaraga's not good right now. But we'll see in the future. Maybe they'll give him some buffs and he'll be very, very strong. Because I don't think he's far off from being a good character. But yeah, his toolkit right now is not the best. Okay, LaLanne. the most infamous character in the game. I remember specifically when I went to Frosty Faustings to play Grand Blue. People were like, "Oh, LaLanne's so cheap. Idrisil's busted." But I know me and a couple other good players that play the game a lot longer were like, "Yeah, he might be good, but Idrisil already kind of has some counterplay to it." So it's only been like 2 weeks, right? And people already see LaLanne's flaws pretty heavily. Yeah, his toolkit is not the best. And also he really can't dish out damage, right? His whole game plan is based around Idrisil, at least for now, how people are playing him. Pyramid Attack is also not a good super to be throwing out willy-nilly, the level 1 super. You know, it does have some damage to it once you get started in a combo, but yeah, LaLanne definitely lacks in a lot of things. His normals are not very great. He's too reliant on a 1-1 super that is, you know, easily counterable if you practice. So we'll see what he does in the future. He's definitely a tricky character. He's definitely somebody you don't want to buff too much because then he'll be very annoying for the meta. But yeah, right now he's not very good. He's probably next to Vasaragi. He's probably one of the weaker characters in my opinion. I think a lot of people in Japan and America don't think LaLanne's very good right now. But yeah, that's all the characters. It's only been 2 weeks, so you know, not too much to develop. But I definitely wanted to talk about the meta a little bit. Try to get my opinions out there, see what people think, because I don't want to be the tier list guy. I will probably never make a tier list for this game. Just letting you guys know now. That is something I am not interested in getting into in debates on Twitter. So I will make these cute little videos talking about the meta, but don't expect a tier list from me. No. Maybe a matchup chart for the characters I play. Maybe I'll make a matchup chart for Gran in the future, but no tier list for me. This is all you're getting. We're getting meta talk. So this is the end of Meta Talk 1. I will revisit this frequently, you know, as the game progresses. I think this is fun to talk about how the game has been progressing so far. Of course, we haven't talked about Proximity OS, but it's going to be leaving soon, so we don't got to mention that too much. But yeah, that's it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.